Simon drove home from the forest, feeling very happy with himself. He had a long weekend of work, and now he had the puppy in the boot of his car. It wasn't that long of a drive between the forest and his house, so he knew the dog would be fine. He wondered if his garden would be big enough for him to play in, but the biggest thing was how to tell his girlfriend that he brought a puppy home. He pulled in to the parking space in front of his house and quickly ran around to the boot of his car. He opened the boot, and there was a little yellow puppy looking up at him with an expression that said, "What the hell was that? It stank in there. Why did you leave me? Don't you love me anymore? Is there food? Is there food? Is there food? I want food. What's that smell? Is it a squirrel? Squirrel." Simon took all this in and just wondered, what have I let myself in for? He lifted the puppy up out of the boot and carried him into the house. He found his girlfriend, Jessica, sitting watching TV and crying over some daytime soap opera. Poor Jessica. She wasn't the same ever since her dad was kidnapped by aliens. Well, that's what he said happened, although everyone knew he just drank too much poaching. Jessica turned round and looked at Simon and said, "What's that?" Simon said, "It's a dog. I found him in the forest. He was all alone, and there was no one I could find anywhere. He must have run away, so I decided to bring him home." Jessica looked at him and said, "Sure, what do we know about looking after a dog?" Simon said, "I've always wanted a dog. Why do you always break down my dreams? Why do you ruin everything? I hate you. I hate you. I want a puppy. I want a puppy. Why won't you let me have a puppy?" Jessica looked at Simon and said, "Okay, just because you're my special big boy, we'll keep the puppy. Do you have a name for him yet?" Simon said, "No, I thought I would let you decide." Jessica looked at the little yellow bundle of fur, which was currently licking himself. "Well, I don't know much about dogs, but I think I'll call him Samson." Simon looked at her and said, "Do you know what? It's been a long time since you said anything that made sense, but I think that's a good name for the dog. What do you think, Samson?" Samson had not been called this before, and so paid no attention, carried on licking himself, and just enjoyed the moment. Samson was a big fan of enjoying the moment. Jessica said to Simon, "Did you even think of stopping along the way somewhere and buying a lead or some dog food or something? All I have in the fridge is leftover lasagna, and we all know dogs don't like lasagna. Cats like lasagna." Simon said, "I'm sure Samson will eat whatever you put in front of him. I do it, and I'm still living." Jessica screamed. slammed some doors, and said, "I don't want to live here anymore." And that was the last that Simon and Samson ever saw of Jessica. That evening, Simon brought Samson upstairs and showed him where the bedroom was. In fact, he gave Samson a tour of the whole house with a running commentary. "So, Samson, this is the bathroom. This is where I shower, and it's where I get rid of my waste products. Preferably you don't get rid of your waste products in here. So we'll just close this door and we won't let you in here again. If you come on down the hallway here, this was our bedroom. It's now my bedroom. It's nice and tidy, but I'm pretty sure it won't be that way for long. No, Samson. Don't be snuffing in there. Come here, boy. Come here. And you a good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. Now, this is my bedroom. This is where I'll sleep. And if you come on down the hall, here we have the study. This is where I do all my work. I do my writing. Yes, no, what? What's that look for? Why are you giving me those big brown eyes? It's almost like you're looking into my soul. Samson wasn't looking into Simon's soul. In fact, he was thinking, "God damn, I'm hungry. Why doesn't this big lump stop talking and just feed me? Feed me. I want food. I want a bone. I want meat. In fact, I want chocolate. I know it's bad for me. It puts love handles on my hips, but I want something to eat. When is this big lummox going to feed me?" Simon then took Samson down the stairs into the living room. This is the couch. This is where I sit and watch television. It's an old couch, so I think, Samson, I'll let you jump up and watch TV with me. What do you like? Samson looked up at Simon and thought, why doesn't he know I don't talk? Why is he talking away and expecting answers? Why isn't he feeding me? I want food. I'm really starting to hate him. Simon then took Samson into the kitchen. Samson, this is the kitchen. This is where I make food, and this is where I will feed you every day. Let's have a look what I have in the fridge. Simon opened the fridge door and looked in. Yogurt. No, I don't think you want yogurt. Eggs. Maybe if they were mixed in with something, but I can't be bothered cooking. Broccoli. No. Dogs don't like broccoli. Do you like broccoli, Samson? Samson looked up at him. I'm really going off this man. No, I don't think dogs should take probiotic drinks. Ham? Do you like ham? I suppose ham is meat. There must be some meat in this. Here's Samson. Take some ham. Simon dropped a large slice of ham onto the floor with a splat. Samson walked over to it, gave it a few quick sniffs, looked around to make sure it was safe to eat, make sure there was no other dogs coming, and he wolfed it down, barely giving it a chew. He looked up into Simon's face with a face that said, I want more. Simon said, Do you want more? Samson looked up at him and said, I want more. So Simon picked up another slice of ham and he just dangled it above Samson's nose. "Is this what you want, boy?" And Samson looked at him and thought, "Give me the food, give me the food. I'll love you if you give me the food." So Simon dropped another slice of ham, splat onto the floor. Samson looked both ways again. The coast was clear. He wolfed it down, and he just enjoyed it. But he did think it tasted rather salty. I could do with a drink, thought Samson. Simon looked at him, cocked his head to one side, like a dog. But he's human. Remember, Simon's a human. Samson's the dog. Simon cocked his head to one side and said, "Would you like something to drink, boy?" Samson said, "Nothing, because he's a dog." Samson looked up with big brown eyes and seemed to say, "Yes." Simon went to the tap and poured a tall glass of water. He looked around for something that he could put it in. After all, he didn't have any dog dish or water bowl as yet. He went to the rubbish bin and found a plastic tray that some mashed potato had been in, and he poured the water into the tray and set it down in front of Samson and said, "There you go, boy, lap it up." Samson tore into the water, making quite a mess, because the ham was very salty and the floor was quite dirty, and he needed to get a good drink. Samson followed Simon upstairs into the bedroom. Simon looked through the wardrobe, going through all his clothes, trying to find something that he no longer needed. He found a shirt that used to fit him back when he was young and sexy, but now he was a big fat lump, and this shirt didn't fit him anymore, and he was never going to fit into it again. So he turned round and said to Samson, "What do you think, boy? Would you like to lie in this tonight? If I throw it in the corner there, you can nestle down inside it." Samson just looked at him, not seeming to care or understand. He had more important things on his mind, like, where did that woman go? Where am I? How do I get back to the forest? Is there food? Will there be more food tomorrow? Is that a vacuum? I hate vacuums. I think I hear another dog in the distance. I think I smell something funny. Is it him? Is it me? Is it me you're looking for? Finally he snapped out of his little reverie and saw that Simon was putting 2 or 3 shirts into a pile in the corner of the room. He waved him across and said, "Come here, Samson." Samson looked at him. I wonder who Samson is. He keeps referring to Samson, but my name's George. Oh, what the hell. I'll play along for now. Come here, Samson. Come here. Come here, boy. Samson waddled over and just sat down where Simon was pointing him to sit. Simon says sit. Ha 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 ha. Samson didn't get the joke, because Samson's a dog. But he sat down on the shirts anyway. They were comfortable enough, although they did smell. Samson wasn't used to the smell, but maybe after a few nights he'd get his own smell to rub off in the sheets. Maybe if he lifted his leg, that was a good idea. So Samson stood up, had a stretch, and lifted his leg and got rid of all the water that he drank earlier. Whoa, 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 what the Jesus fucking hell and curse and damn are you doing? Said Simon. Simon was quite annoyed. He herded Samson down the stairs and out the back door into the yard and said to him, if you're going to piss inside the house, you're going to have to stay outside. You're a bad boy. You're a very bad boy. Samson looked around the backyard and thought, it's nice and warm out here. I can smell smells in the air. I can hear other dogs barking. Yes, I think this is where I'm going to spend the night. So he walked down the yard into a dark corner beside the shed, which had an overhanging piece of carpet for shelter, and he just lay down and closed his eyes, and he thought about all the things that he learnt that day, and tried to think what he would do tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to the forest. Tomorrow I'm going to eat ham. Tomorrow I'm going to lick myself. And tomorrow I'm going to pee on his clothes again.